Hi guys, it's Hella from Dawn Emporium, and for the first legitimate Halloween video we're travelling to Wales for Galan Gaeaf. Gaeaf, that sounds better. So it's Galan Gaeaf. That means Halloween night, and Galan Gaeaf pretty much means Halloween. Okay, so if it's mainly going to say throughout what I read Galan Gaeaf, but that's just because I'm saying Halloween as opposed to Nos Galan Gaeaf, because Nos means night, and that automatically turns the C of Callan to the G of Galan. So, okay, so Nos Galan Gaeaf is the Welsh language term for Halloween. No, technically Halloween night. Now, I have no chance of saying the name, but a stew of 9 different root vegetables mixed with milk, butter and salt and pepper are eaten on Halloween in Wales. Actually sounds quite nice. I didn't find the exact recipe, but I was always told that stew was root vegetables. You don't add things like broccoli and cauliflower. It's always root vegetables. So it sounds like I've actually been eating that stew, give or take, most of my life without actually knowing it. But I found out reading through all of these that I've actually been doing quite a lot of these traditions without actually realising it. Because I used to get told off. Everyone used to go out trick-or-treating and I used to go out guising. And I got told that you had to sing because I was brought up without religion. So I got told I had to sing or perform to get sweets, and everyone else just had to go trick or treat because I was going guising and they were going trick or treating. So, you know, I got brought up in a very strange way, and people wonder why I am me. So I have no way of saying that stew's name, but it does sound nice. Like I say, the website I got this from will be in the description box. That will have the name, and then I'm sure if you put that into Google, you'll be able to find a recipe for it somewhere. Seasonal farm workers were paid off. Farmers decided which animals looked healthy enough to survive the winter and either sold or slaughtered the rest, which makes sense. This part, the animal slaughtering, is probably what started the black, hang on, is it silo or solo ritual, right? I can't even read my own writing there, but it is quite a funky ritual. I like it. One of the slaughtered pigs would rise out of the flames of a pyre and chase the children to their homes, though it was really a man covered in either a cloth or a pigskin. And frankly, it was a really funky way to get the kids into bed at night. Maybe slightly nightmarish, but you know, things happen. There are worse traditions in the world. People set bonfires on hilltops to frighten away evil spirits. They sometimes wore masks and disguises to avoid being recognised by ghosts. Witches, hobgoblins, fairies and demons were associated very heavily with the day, and it's probably no coincidence that the archetypal witch's dress of the wide-brimmed pointed hat, long skirts and long flowing cloak are actually the Welsh traditional dress for a woman. And they are, you know how in modern culture the witch's hat comes out to about hairish and you're sitting there going, how on earth are you meant to see? A Welsh hat comes out to about hair, and then it goes up, and then it's got instead of going up to a really obvious point, it goes up and then it's got like a softer point on the top. But it is, if you see especially a black and white photo of old Welsh women just sitting around having a cup of tea, they're obviously witches. Just the whole lot of them. They're all witches. It's awesome. Now, obviously, they're not witches, but you just look at them and go, they're witches. So cool. I love it. Absolutely love it. Right? Other Welsh Galan Gaeaf traditions include Coal Surth. Everyone scratches their names into stones, throws them into a fire, and if any are missing when the fire went out, they die within the year. Now, divination is a strong thing throughout all of these. An apparition of a white lady, now she does have a name, but again, me and my Welsh, not good, would often be seen at crossroads and graveyards guarding against evil spirits. In Pembrokeshire, if people looked into a mirror, they would see witches and demons in their sleep. The elders would go from house to house to receive offerings of food and gifts for the souls of the dead that would be visiting that night. Now, I think it was the elders because they were the closest to dying, so they would be the most likely to be ready to go through the veil, so they'd be the easiest for the spirits to get to, I think, personally. That's the way I see it. Their spirits would be the closest to the veil. That's how I see it. It's very cool. And touching ground ivy was supposed to make you have nightmares about hags and witches. I actually love it. Now, this is the thing. The Welsh, they didn't actually recognise Halloween because they're not actually a Celtic people. I like a pure-blooded Celtic people for years, but they were because they were a major stop between Cornwall Celtic people and Ireland Celtic people and Man Celtic people. They were like, well, we've got a harvest festival around then anyway, and we need to lessen the blow of letting go of all the farm workers after the harvest and any excuse for an ease up, really. So, you know what? We'll start Galan Gaeaf, because it's not our New Year's. We'll just have it as a harvest festival. Oh, I've said it wrong. Galan Gaeaf. And we'll have it in that way. And, well, they were a Celtic people. They weren't a strong Celtic people, which sounds really weird, but they bred with their neighbouring tribe, which I think was the Utes. They weren't Ute, but there was quite a bit of breeding going on with the Ute tribes. You don't quote me on that. I think that's what happened because all the other Celtic tribes were all like, yay. And they were like, nah, you know what? We'll roll with it. And any excuse for an ease up. And they took little pieces from the surrounding cultures that they had the most contact with, which was the Irish, the Manx and the Cornish. But what I think is really special is because of the way their women dress, they became literally the poster child for Halloween. They are the archetypal witch. I love it. Absolutely love it. Like, big up the Welsh on this. If you're going to nick something, make it yours. And they did. Right? Well, they didn't even nick it or appropriate it. They just sort of rolled with it. There were enough people coming through going, tonight is Halloween. We need to celebrate. And it kind of grew from there. That not only did they roll with it, they sort of overtook on the whole witch thing. Love it. Absolutely love it. So for them, it's more of a harvest festival and an ease up and a bit of divination. Their New Year's wasn't until I think it was January 12th. I think theirs was January 12th and Scotland was January 13th. I've got it written down. Where are you? Oh, Wales was January 13th. So it wasn't their New Year's. So they had a few months to go until their traditional New Year's. But they just were like, yeah, the surrounding people are all celebrating this. They're all making a big deal out of it. It's all their New Year's. You know what? Let's party with them. And then by chance, their national dress for women got chosen as one of the like height of fashion dresses. Loving that little snippet of history. Absolutely loving it. By the way, if you hear loads of snorting and weird noises in the background, one of my dogs is having a really good wash. I'm sorry about that. It's very hard to get very clean when you have up to 10-inch long fur. So, sorry. He's like a white lion. It's silly. It is actually silly. Right, that's enough for Wales. Now let's see what Scotland's doing. I'll see you in a minute. Bye.